let's talk a little bit about mindset, right? I'm going to mute you guys if that's okay. I'm going to allow you to unmute yourselves if you want. Leave that unlocked. So, okay. Let's talk about mindset because it's important. So this is just my personal opinion. This is my personal quote here, is that a realtor without a marketing plan is a realtor who is out of business. And any of you guys who have been in this market for been a realtor for some years, you know this, that basically so many realtors fall into this category where they get licensed, they have a deal on deck with a family or a family member or a friend, and then basically that, they do that deal, and then because they don't have any marketing in place, they don't have any other deals backing that up, and so they are basically standing there with business cards in their hands, and they don't understand that they are technically out of business because they don't have any more deals on deck, right? And the longer you stay in this business, the more you have to see that you have to have coming in. You have to be able to process those deals to get to the finish line, and then you have to get them closed. And you have those that are coming in and then that are going out. And there's a skill set to learning how to do that, to how to get them in and how to get them moving out. Some of that's going to be doing with, time blocking and things like that. But we have to have some sort of a marketing plan, specifically because we, as realtors here, we have to have some kind of a, I'm looking for here. I'm sorry. My brain farted. Someone else came in the room. So we have to have we have to have this marketing plan in place, because technically what we are is, as realtors and as mortgage originators, we are not entrepreneurs. I know that there's a lot of verbiage like that in the marketplace that that realtors are entrepreneurs. Realtors are really not. If they're running a team or if they're running an office, then they're getting closer to being more of an entrepreneur. If they're running an office, if they're a team, basically just about they're bordering on that, right? What we really are freelancers, and that's all we are as realtors. We are freelancers, and it's important to understand this dynamic and this distinction here, because like an entrepreneur, one of the benefits to being an entrepreneur is that you can go on vacation for a month, 2 months, and get a paycheck continuously. If you own a McDonald's, or if you own an office and there's realtors doing deals there for you or something like that. But as a freelancer, if we step away from our business for a month or 2 months, we're going to come back and there's not going to be a business there, because it's up to us to drive that business, right? So with that in mind, we have to have some sort of a monthly budget in place to talk about how we are going to gain our own business and generate our own business, right? So something to keep in mind. It's an important part of this. So whatever that budget is going to be, $300 a month, 400, 500, even more. Dollars are unlimited, so you can go as far as you want as far as a marketing budget. But one of the other things I try to impress on the realtors is that this is by Reid Hoffman. He's the one of the co-creators of LinkedIn. If you do not have an absolutely solid theory of competitive differentiation, then you do not have competitive differentiation. And in the world of real estate, as realtors, competitive differentiation is the most important thing you can have, in my opinion, because it is the largest trade organization in the country, right? There's more realtors running around than anybody else. There's more people that are trying to be realtors than that are trying to be teachers, lawyers, accountants, anything. There's more realtors than anybody. And the numbers are up at over 2% this year of people who are getting licensed again because they hear the market is hot, which it is as prices are going up. What they may not be paying attention to is that, inventory is super down, but that may not mean something negative necessarily. So our goal is to differentiate ourselves in a highly competitive way, right? And if you don't know what your personal competitive differentiation is, then that means you probably don't have it, right? So Facebook ads is going to be one of the things that you can use to at least gain business. But competitive differentiation is something I want you guys to daydream about and think about how you can make that a little bit stronger of a positioning for yourself, right? So, okay, let's shift out of this for a second. So, okay, keep this in mind. For years, there were about 5 million deals that were happening annually in real estate. And so for those 5 million deals, there was about 10 million leads, right? You had about 5 million deals and about 10 million leads. this is before online marketing really started to explode. So now we still have about those same 5 million deals annually, but we got about 100 million leads, and that number is going up even still. Most of it all because it's happening in online and through CRMs and lead capture pages like that we're going to talk about, right? So one of the things to keep in mind is that email drip campaigns, they don't really work the way they ever did used to, the way they used to when email first came out. What happens is we are going to send, KV Core is going to send them an email that's going to go to their personal email account. And so my question to you guys is, how many of you guys are reading all of your personal emails? How many of you are reading all of the emails that pop in your email account? I mean, I'm not. I don't read all of them. Professional emails is a different deal. And I got a bunch of emails that come from my mortgage company. I don't need to read them all either. For personal emails, I can surely tell you I have 1,000 that I'm not even reading right now, So what's happening is we are sending materials to that location that they may never get their eyes on. So we need to really, really be in front of them. And we're going to use Facebook to do that, right? And Instagram too, right? So because we have to go to Facebook because it's super easy to just send them to send an email to somebody. But the problem is their eyes aren't really there, but their eyes are in Facebook and all these other social platforms, right? So we have to go to where their eyes are, not where we want their eyes to be. So you see these things, right? With snail mail campaigns. Any of you guys ever get any real estate ads in your mailbox? I get them. I get plenty. So the real question is do these types of things work? Does print ad work? Does billboards work? Those big signs on the side of the road. I think that they maybe could, but I surely know they don't work nearly as well as they used to. Specifically because what happens is a person's going to get this, they're going to get this thing in the mail. I get these big 10 by 8s or whatever they are. And I take all my envelopes and I wrap that thing around, that marketing piece around those. And I come into my kitchen, I pull out my envelopes and I take that other stack of things with the other car ads and I take them, I throw them in the garbage. And if we're lucky, the consumer will look at it one time if we're lucky and then throw it away. But with Facebook ads, they're going to see us more than once. Hopefully, at least if we run them well. So, okay, so one of the goals that we are going to try to accomplish with this long-term plan of running Facebook ads is we are going to be building a database of people that you specifically don't know, because that's the whole point of running Facebook ads, is to get your ad in front of people that you don't already know, right? Who's the larger group of people? People you do know or the people you don't know, right? It's always going to be people that don't know. And so we need to get in front of them in as best we can. So one of the things we need to take into consideration also is that this is mostly going to be future business. We are building this campaign for the future. This is not something that you are going to just start. People are going to click on your ads and immediately start saying, this is not like a, what do they call it? It's not like a lay down type of a close where they're just going to be ready to buy the moment they click on your ad. You may get that. The likelihood of that is going to be low. It's mostly going to be future business. And as with future business, what this means is that follow-up is key with this, right? The fortune is in the follow-up. You guys heard this before? The follow-up is key when it comes to online leads. The truth is, it's key no matter what you're doing, no matter how that lead is getting into your CRM, right? Let's say you have a friend that you talk to and you say, hey, I just became a realtor and, I'm trying to do some deals. Do you know anybody that's trying to buy a house right now? And they say, yeah, some lady I was talking to at the church the other day. She told me she wanted to buy a house. And then you say, hey, would you mind introducing me? And you use the triangle of trust or the white glove handoff. I talked about that in my morning video a couple of weeks ago. And you use this technique. And now she's kind enough to give you her phone number. You still have to follow up with this person again and again and again sometimes. And it doesn't necessarily matter how the handshake occurs or how the introduction occurs, but it's up to us for sure to be following up with these leads, because we're going to be creating a database and they are going to be looking at houses online on your KV Core page. And it's up to you to follow up with them. And so one of the more important things I'm going to say is that if you don't think that you are built for that type of a concept where there's leads sitting in your CRM and now you see that they're active online and now you're ready to pick up the phone and call them and talk about what they're looking at online, or ask them how it looked, what they were looking at the other day. Is that something of interest? How many beds and bath are you looking for? Are you looking for a pool? If this isn't something you're really comfortable with, then this whole concept may not be the right thing for you. I want to make that clear up front at the beginning of this first class, that if you don't think that you're built for these for like a religious level of follow-up, then it may not be the right concept for you, because you're going to spend your own money for leads. And then when you log into KV Core, you're going to see that they are actually active, and it's time to go when you see them active, So, but one of the benefits to all of this is that even if you're a newer realtor and you're thinking to yourself, there's a lot of people in this marketplace that have experience, and I don't know if I can compete with them and all this and that. We found that frequently that the buyers or any consumer is happy to exchange convenience for experience. So if you're the first one there and you're licensed and you come off as a professional, they will use you instead of somebody that's got 10 years of experience in the marketplace. Okay. Something to keep in mind is that if you're the first one there, I forget what the numbers were. I just talked about it in a morning video, maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, about the percentage of people that listed with the first realtor that they spoke with. And that can definitely be any of you on this call, if you're just willing to just reach out to them as these things come in. And the goal is to not get frustrated, because you're going to get fake contact. You're going to get fake emails, fake phone numbers. It's part of the game. It's part of the deal. But, if you're the type that's only really doing 4, 5, 6 deals a year, and through this you added another 3, 4, 5, 6, that's a game changer for you as far as I'm concerned. That doubles your income from real estate. And if you grind it out a little bit harder and you can do another 10 deals a year, or just one more deal per month just by running Facebook ads, that's a pretty explosive situation once you start to turn the dial up as far as your budget goes. All right. Okay. Does anybody have any questions on what I just talked about for right now? You can unmute yourself and ask a question if you want. If not, let me get another window up here. And okay. If you're sitting in front of a computer, you want to log into KV Core. Okay. We're going to play with one setting right now. We want to make sure that this is correctly in place, right? So we're going to go to Web and IDX, right? Give you guys a second to get caught up here. Do Web and IDX. If I'm going too fast, guys, you can let me know. That's okay. The idea is for everybody to get it right. And again, keep in mind, this is being recorded. It's going to go on your YouTube page. And I'm going to get a copy of this. I'll put this on me and Lily's website also. All right. So you're in Web and IDX at this point, and you're going to go to Edit Settings. And there are some other settings that we'll play with eventually too, but for now, we're going to just do this one thing. We're going to scroll down a bit, and we are looking for Mandate Phone. We want to make sure that this is turned on. Okay. So the reason we use this, I'll show you why we're doing this. So when you go into Lead Engine, and then you make an IDX page, you make your squeeze page here, and we'll get to this in another class because we are not going to be running this just yet. Eventually what's going to happen is this is going to create a squeeze page. Some of you guys may be playing with these already, right? Oh, somebody else trying to get in. So when you create this link, this is and they click on it when they click on your ad in Facebook. Oh, am I not screen sharing? Can you guys see my screen? You can't see my screen. I'm very sorry. I thought that I was sharing my screen here. Now you can, right? Wait. Now you can, right? Good grief. This whole time I wasn't sharing the screen. Sorry about that. So, okay. Start all over again. So we're coming here. We're going to IDX, web and IDX, right? One second, guys. Let me just move a few things around here. When I share the screen, it takes away the chat and it takes away if anybody's trying to come into the class. So, okay. Okay, so right, we're in web and IDX here, right? And what you can do is you can scroll down a little bit. Wait, forgive me. You're going to hit edit settings once we're in web and IDX. We're going to scroll down and we're going to go to this part that says mandate phone. And we are going to make sure that this says yes. The reason for this is that when we make a squeeze page in KV Corp and we post that on Facebook, this is now going to require that they have their phone number, that they put their phone number in, because without their phone number, we can't do anything with this, right? We already talked about how email is kind of a useless method of communication sometimes, you know? At least it is when it comes to marketing, sort of. I mean, there's definitely an argument for this, don't get me wrong, but we want their phone number so we can reach out to them on our terms, ultimately, right? We need to have their phone numbers. Without the phone numbers, we can't do anything. So this is going to require that the lead put their phone number into that. So I want to make sure that that is at yes, that's showing as yes. So, okay. We're going to leave. We're going to leave KV Core for now. And let's go to Facebook real quick. So this is Lily's Facebook page. If you ever communicate to her on here, that is probably me replying, or if it's in Spanish, it's her and she'll get to it at some point. But truth is the easiest way to communicate to us through text messages. I am not always guarding this page, but I use this as a launching platform for other things. I run ads through this web page, right? So, okay, remember, we're going to use Ads Manager, but if you can't get to Ads Manager or you don't have a login, what you're going to do is you're going to come here. You're going to click on Ads, and I'm just going to click a link to keep that window open. And so that brings us into an ads platform, right? So okay. This is where, so how many of you guys are caught up so far at this point? This is where I usually lose people in class at the KV Core page on that mandate phone, and I lose them here because one of the challenges is, like I said, my Facebook, I'm using the new version of Facebook. Yours may not look like mine, you know? Okay. So yours may not, very well may have a different version of Facebook running. It's very possible. So if you guys can you can unmute yourself if you want to tell me that, because I can't see everything in my little screen here. But if you want to unmute yourself and tell me how it's going, or tell me if you're lost or something, you can. Because it's going to hinge on you guys being able to see this screen right here. Okay. This is kind of an important screen because this is where all the magic happens ultimately. Won't let you unmute. Okay. How the hell does that work? One second here, guys. Okay. Okay. Does it let you know?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, question here.
Sure.
What I have, Teresa was working with me on, and it was like setting up, I have my regular Facebook page, which is not business. And then through there, she was working on setting me up with business. But when I tried to hit ads here, I get a total blank page.
Okay. Okay. So you may have to create a business page. So that means that you probably won't have the time to do that while we're on this class.
Okay.
But what you can do is you can sit and watch and then do it and then watch the class again. Okay. Okay. So starting over again from the Facebook page, basic Facebook page, right? So you may be running an older version of Facebook. And I don't even know if it's going to give me the option to go back and let me do the older version. I may not. I thought this was going to run live at a certain day and then it wasn't going to let us back anymore. Is everybody running this newer version that looks kind of like this?
Yes.
How do I know if I have an older or a newer version?
One more time.
How do I know I have an older or newer version?
It's going to look like this if it's new.
Okay.
I have a black background. I think that I added that myself. You can have a white background if you want. I'm into black backgrounds, especially on the phone because you're looking at the darn thing all day. It's easier on the eyes, you know. But I don't know if this is because I have a business page or if this is the way that all of them look. But you can come here and you can just simply click ads. I'm going to right click and open it up in a new tab. And what it'll do is it'll bring you into your ad campaign, right? So I don't run any ads through this profile. I have a different profile that's open over here, which it would bring in and it would look like this more.
Brian,
Okay. Yep.
I don't see where the ads are. I'm on my business page, but I don't see
Okay.
where it says
Okay.
ads.
So do you have this little ellipses here, or like these 9 dots?
Let me see. On the left-hand side?
Left-hand side.
No, on the left it says filters.
This is one of the challenges where if I can't see your screen, it's going to be tough. Can you go to the home page of your business page?
Oh, okay. Hold on a second. Let me try this. Home page. Okay, I'm at the home page now.
Okay. You see where it says Ads Manager on the left?
Let's see here. Ad Center.
Yours may say Ad Center. Mine says Ad Manager. So
Okay.
yeah.
And then go where?
And then click on your Ad Manager or whatever. When you click on Ad Center, does it look like this?
Oh, wait a minute. I'm on there. So let me see.
When you're rewatching this video, you can fast forward through some of these conversations, obviously, just to get to the parts that you need.
Yeah.
Okay, well, there's options when I go there, said all ads or audiences.
Try all ads. Well, what Facebook kind of does is like, imagine that this is the destination and all of the roads that lead to this destination are different.
Okay.
So when you get here, this is going to all of our experiences will collapse into something that looks just like this. Okay.
Okay.
Something to keep in mind.
I'm sorry,
Okay.
this is Zuli. So I just joined La Rosa last week. I don't have any of it set up. So essentially all this is through Web IDX.
No, this is Facebook's Business Manager. So what we're doing is we're starting here on the Facebook, basically a basic Facebook business page.
Correct, but through KV Core, how do you set all of that up?
So KV Core is a different beast altogether and a different software. So what we did on KV Core is all we did was we turned on the mandate phone. We went to Web and IDX. We went to, it's loading it. We hit edit settings. We scroll down from here. We hit mandate phone. And we make sure that that's turned on. And that's the only thing that and we hit save. It's the only thing we're doing in KV Core today.
Okay. All right. So essentially you have to have your business account already set up for all to work together.
If you do not have a Facebook business page set up right now, you are going to just have to watch as a spectator and then set that up and then come back and watch the video. Again, this is being recorded. And so you can catch it up that way.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. So at this point, mostly everybody, if you're following along and you're able to, should be looking at this screen that looks like this, right? So, okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to understand that there are 3 parts to every Facebook ad or Instagram ad, because this is where you have to run for Instagram also. Okay. So there is going to be the campaign, the ad set, and then the ad. And it's very important to understand these 3 distinctions because they're going to come into play again and again and again. So I'm going to hit create so we can look at what an ad looks like. This is even different from the last time I logged into the dang thing. Every time I log into this, I'm wondering whether or not it's going to look different. Facebook makes a lot of adjustments to their software. Okay. So over time, we are only going to be running a couple of different versions of an ad. So, and more folks are coming in still. So okay, let's just gonna eliminate a few of these. We're not gonna really play with this too much because we're not really running an e-commerce business, right? So we're not running a catalog of, I don't know, hair dryers. And we don't have an online store that we're running here, you know? And we're gonna leave these alone for now. If you have a database, these are gonna be the ones that you're gonna wanna start to we're going to eventually play with, because we're going to upload a database and run ads directly to a group of folks, right? But we're going to eventually play with traffic, lead generation. I don't really play with messages because I'm not the type that can sit in front of a computer and take the messages all day long. If you want to run a bot on there or something, you totally can. Remember, I can't teach you every single little detail in here. I don't know every single little detail, but I can teach you what I know, Hold on, more folks coming in still too. So we're going to play with either traffic or lead generation. For right now, we're going to run traffic, which is going to be a really basic ad. Forgive me 1 second, because I got dogs in the house. I got to let one of them out of the room here. Okay. Sorry about that. So we're going to run a basic traffic ad, right? We're going to come in here and we're going to take a look. We're going to see what this looks like. So remember, guys, we're not going to run an ad today. We're going to explore what these pages do. Remember, we have a campaign, ad set, and an ad, right? And we're going to call this, we were going to rename these screens also. So when we come out here, we'll see what it's called. It's called this class ad 1. So, okay. Something to take into consideration is that we are running a special ads category. If you were running Facebook ads a couple of years ago and you stopped and you haven't played with this since, a lot has changed, including this category right here. So you have to declare if you are running a special ads category, and we are, because we are running it for housing, right? And if you're running for credit, employment, or any politics, then you have to click this button. And when you click this button, a couple of our toys are going to get turned off. Okay. So I think it's important. I'm going to leave this unclicked for right now, just so I can give you an example of something. We're going to go to the next page just to show you what happens. So what happens here is that now I'm running this ad without that ads category turned on, right? And I'm going to eliminate United States. Don't worry, I'm going to catch you up on how all this works. And so we're going to run them in Florida, right? Because that's where we are. And we're going to drop this little pin here. It gives me this circle. And I can make that circle bigger or smaller, down to 1 mile up to 50 miles, right? To just get a radius here. The thing is, with Facebook ads, you want to really get granular if you can, or you can even put in a zip code, right? And so I can run it to 34747 if I wanted to, but I can't. And we'll get to in a minute why. And if I didn't have a special ads category, I could change the ages of the people that I'm running this to, and that'd be nice. And I can run it at only women or only men. And I have all of these other targeting options here too, right? So what happens here, and I have an exclusion option. What happens is, when I click on this special ads category that I have to, or I can't get my ad approved, and I come back in here, quite a bit of that has changed now. So what happens here is that you see that there's red here. I cannot run a special ad category on age. I cannot run a special ad category on gender, and I can no longer run this on a mile either. I have to stay within a 15-mile radius. That's the only option Facebook is going to give me. I have to have a 15-mile radius, I'm not, see, zip code is selection is unavailable due to the type of ad I want to run. And now I got these lines here, these little pop-ups here. Okay. So I got to be at 18 because we have, you know, Facebook got in trouble a while ago and they, you know, they went in front of the court and they were saying that these real estate ads are targeting special groups, and with equal housing laws, they're saying that this is a violation. If you were running Google AdWords for a while, you noticed that they also added this same limitation maybe a month ago, a couple of weeks ago to this same thing here as well. So it's important to understand the limitations of these, the flexibility and the limitations of what Facebook ads can do. So just starting out right away, we have to click on this special ads category. When I run mortgage ads, I have to click on it as well, right? Because if I'm running mortgage loans or real estate listings or any other related opportunities, the algorithm is going to pick it up, okay? So we're going to come in here. We're going to leave the auction there. We're going to leave traffic there. That's the type of ad we're running, right? Traffic ad. So I'm going to turn on campaign budget optimization. I'm going to pick my daily budget. You can put whatever you want for this. I do $3 a day, $5 a day. Sometimes I do more. Sometimes I run special campaigns with certain other things, and I want to increase that a little bit because it's going to be a limited amount of time. Maybe I want to run $50 per ad, right? Or for just for a couple of days. So this is the type of campaign, right? That I renamed this to class, but remember those three, actually, let me just do this again real quick. Remember these three categories here, right? We have campaigns, ad set, and ads. All of these are one ad. So all ads come into these categories, right? I'm sorry, this is the beginning of the ad. This is like part 1, part 2, and part 3. So campaign is the type of ad that we're running, right? So when I come here and I have everything set, I'm going to do next, and that's going to bring us into ad set. So now we're on step 2, which is basically this bullet point or this little tab here, if you would, right? You guys with me so far? So what's going to do is Facebook's going to ask me, so where do you want to drive traffic to? Where is the destination of this? So we don't really have an app. You know, I mean, I guess you could run them to like a KV Core app, or you could run them to your Millions Maps app. What is that called? Forgive me. Or you could run this to your MLS app if you wanted to. But remember, KV Core's got all those fancy tools behind the scenes where we can see what they're shopping for, right? So if you wanted to, you can run into Messenger, you can run them to WhatsApp. But I don't really have a curriculum built for these two. Like I said, I'm not the type that's going to sit there. I have heard plenty of realtors tell me they have gotten good results because they automatically have a person sitting there ready to have a conversation. And that's a good thing to have for sure. So we're going to leave this alone for now because we're going basic on how this works, right? So where is the start stop date? A lot of times I turn them on and I don't turn them off again, right? Because I want to make, we'll get to how that works in a little bit. For now, we're going to just leave this with an open-ended end date, right? So no end. So now we're going to talk about our audience, and this is where you can make or break an ad. There's a couple of places here where you can definitely make or break your ad, right? So there's a couple of categories we want to know about. We can run ads at everybody that's currently living in this location, people who were living or were recently in this location, people who live in the location, people who were traveling through, people who were recently there, or people that were like traveling when they were traveling anywhere between like 125 miles away or more. So anybody that's recently in there, maybe they drive in there for work or something, but they don't live there. Okay, we're going to use this for different reasons because let's say we want to run vacation home ads and we want to run it only at people that are in vacation places. We know that this is going to be the dot that we want to click at that point. We want to stay here, right? But like if you're running at listings, maybe you want both of these, right? Buyers or listings, maybe both of these, because they may be traveling for work into an area where they want to be living in, and we don't want to exclude those as people that we may not be able to work with, right? So let's just leave it here for the purposes of this. Again, I'm not going to run this ad. So now when I start to look at locations here, it's important to understand what our town looks like here, right? Because we know that this is, right, this is 27 going up here. I think it is, right? Is that 27? Is that 429? This is 27, right? So remember that everything west of 27 is swampland anyway, and there's nobody lives there. So I think I just got lucky by putting the dot here. I've just done this demonstration enough times. I've just done this enough times where, okay, when I put that dot right here in what is, I don't know about the middle of Orlando, but certainly the middle of tourist land around Orlando, right? That in this circle includes 1.9 million people. This is important because this is something we are going to be paying attention to soon. So remember, we cannot play with age, and we cannot play with gender, but we can play with targeting, right? And so now what happened was when we clicked on that special ads campaign, it limited the amount of targeting that we actually have here. But they still give us some tools, and they still give us some toys here. So let's say you want to get you want to get sellers, right? This is one thing that you can add, which would be an owner occupier. So these are people who live in the house, that they own the house that they live in, right? They're not renting the house, but they live in a single family home, and, or at least some sort of, it could be a duplex or something else, but they are owner occupiers. And right when I put that one distinction in here, I segmented the audience within this circle here, and that 1.9 million just went to 110,000 folks. So there's more, because just because I added one, that doesn't mean I can't add another. I can keep adding and keep adding. So Facebook has I can narrow the audience again. I can say, I'm adding another line here when I do this. And so what happens is let's say I want people that are owner occupiers and they are into swimming pools. My number just changed again. It went up now because I included another group here, right? So people that are owner occupiers and people that are into swimming pools. But everybody that owns a swimming pool may not own a home. But what happens if I went in here and I said, so this is people who match owner occupier and who also match people who are into pools. Now that just went from 110,000 to 55,000. Do you see how that just worked? When I add it in here, it increases the number, but when I add it down here, it decreases the number because this is for people who match owner occupiers, but also match swimming pools. Okay. You guys have any questions so far on this part? It's kind of important in the way that this works. This is a huge feature in Facebook, and this is one of the main reasons people want to run Facebook ads is they can segment their audiences in a big way, basically, using this one tool right here. And there's a lot of magic that goes on in here. I'm just doing this one as a owner occupier in swimming pool. You can run a bunch of other things in here, and we will get to that at another time. But I want you guys to at least understand the basic stencil as of how these things work, because I can narrow further, and people who are into swimming pool, people who are owner occupiers and swimming pools, and are also into, let's see if this is here. I was going to see if they're into dogs, but if they're into dog training, how many people? That just went from 55,000 to 9,000. And 9,000 is maybe too few people to run an ad to. It's not. Facebook will still run it so far. If this needle is going to start over here at broad, and the more we narrow this down, it's going to get down to specific. If it's too specific, Facebook won't like it. They won't let us run it. Okay. Just going to take that out of here for a minute. So anybody have any questions so far? You can unmute yourself and ask some questions if you want. Okay. Take that as a no for now. So remember, this is what is the type of ad. This is who is seeing the ad. And this part, what we'll get to in a little bit, is going to be what are they seeing, right? So this is the type of ad, who is seeing it, and what they're seeing. Okay. So a little bit further about who is seeing the ad is this. If we're going to talk about the placements of the ads, because remember, Facebook's got a lot of channels they run these ads through. And I click on manual, we can see and get an idea of what they are. So we can run them on Facebook and we can run them on Instagram, because remember, Facebook owns Instagram. Facebook has Audience Network and they have Messenger. Audience Network is like an external place where you can see like, little articles and stuff, or little places that Facebook suggests you go look at. They run ads through there too. And you can run ads through there too as well. But I'm going to take those off because I don't like those as much. I don't think it's as effective. And in a minute, Facebook is going to tell me that I'm going to pay more for my ad because I took off Audience Network. And I'm going to call their bluff on that. So you can run it all over the place in here. You can run it in Facebook and Instagram feeds. You can run it in their marketplace, video feeds. I'm going to take that off for sure, because when I'm watching a video, I don't want to be looking at ads. On the right side of Facebook, Instagram Explore. I'm just unclicking these for the fun of it here. Or you can write in I like Facebook feed. I like Instagram feed the most as destinations. But they brought on stories, and you can run ads right in stories. And what I want you to take a look at is that you see how this is basically like a square. We have certain dimensions that the photos need to be in. When we go to stories, notice those dimensions have changed, because if you guys have played on these platforms, you know that the dimensions are going to change. If you're going to run an ad specifically in stories, I highly recommend taking these off, because your ad is not going to look right. If you're going to run something that's formatted for stories, it's not going to look right if it's in feed. All right. And this is all little things to be aware of. Like even just when I run it here, it's going to be this kind of a shape. And when I run a carousel, that shape changes again. And it starts to get confusing on the next page. It can, at least. That's all trial and error that I had to do that through. Here they're giving you the, formatted the dimensions and everything. Notice dimensions change on stories. So this is in videos as well. So you can run things in videos. There's a search function in Facebook. You can run ads in the search function as well. There's Messenger in articles as well. And there's I don't know how many that are here altogether. Maybe there's 15, 20 different locations you can run ads, right? So the goal is to get this in the most in front of the most amount of eyes as possible. And I think the easiest, most innocuous way, or the most delicate way to put an ad in front of people is going to be in their feed, because fundamentally people do not like ads. People don't like marketing when they're on these platforms. So we want to make our ads look as good as possible. I mean, that's a good looking hamburger right there, or whatever this is. This thing's gigantic. I don't know who's eating that, but we're going to get to this in a little bit, but we want to understand what the location is that they are going to be looking at these in, right? And then think about how we want to run certain campaigns based on the location of where they're reading them. Luckily, Facebook gives us this kind of data, right? Okay. One of the things we are looking for in our ad, we are looking to click on link clicks. There are other things though. Landing page views, daily unique reach, and impressions. My suggestion is, I've been playing with these two for a while. If you're trying to push them to a KV Core page or to some sort of landing page, you want to be in these two, most likely this one, right? If you're running branding ads, or you're running those other ads that are like, if you have a database, this is where you want to be more of these, right? Because all you need is for them to know you exist at that point. It's a topic for another class. Okay. So again, on this page, we're sending them to I can rename this as well. We don't need to do it now. We will in the future, because we're going to play a lot of jazz in here with this. So, remember, the destination is a website. I'm going to leave this off for right now. We're not running an offer, because we're not saying 50% off if you buy a second Frisbee, or, I don't know. Budget and the schedule are going to be set. The schedule is going to be set for no end date. We don't have a custom audience, again, because we do not have a database. Many of you do not if you're just starting, right? Now we have our location set. If you live somewhere else, you can click this somewhere else and make this location somewhere else. If you're in Tampa, you know, you don't want the edge of that to be over here in the water because no one will see it. You'll get more eyes if the circle is just staying in like this kind of an area. You want to play with this so you can get that right to the edge there. So you're not marketing to nothing, so to speak, you know? So we like our Orlando location here. I think, did we lose our Orlando location? Yeah, I guess we did. Okay, so there it is. So we're going to just, for the purposes of this, we're going to have something in here because again, we want this audience to get smaller. And so we have our identifiers here. And what you can also do is, keep in mind, Facebook has these suggestions. Because I hit owner occupier, you can also do single family detached, condominium. If you're using a mortgage, you don't want to use this one, right? Because mortgages are tough when it comes to that. Or if they're interested in real estate, if maybe they're a FSBO, right? There's a bunch of other things in here. And what it is, when you just put the cursor on here, it shows you the size of the audience. All right, this one's got a 1.4 because when I click on this, it's going to increase. Well, it doesn't increase because I have that pool happening here, right? But something to keep in mind. We're going to play with this as time goes on. Remember, this is just an intro. We're not running an ad today. So we would want to use manual placements, and then we would want to run these here. To run a story ad, again, you would declick these and then click over here and run this on either of these, right? Okay, moving forward. And all right, we've got a link click, and then from here, we're going forward. Okay, so now here we are here. Forgive me here. So now we are in, again, 1, 2, and 3. This is the type of ad. This is who is seeing it. Now the question is, what are they seeing, right? And that is displayed here. Type of ad, who is seeing it, and what are they seeing? And we would change the name here to just keep those consistent. So this is the page we're running through. This is the Instagram page. And let's, you know, I didn't bring a website up for this. Actually, okay, fair enough. I got it. I know what we're gonna do. 2 seconds to set this up here. Stay with me. Okay. So remember, the destination is going to be a website for the purposes of this. And now Facebook needs to know what is that website, right? For purposes of this, I'm going to say it's lilydemarie.com. And what Facebook is going to do is going to auto-populate images from this website. I do know where I got this image, but I don't know why I picked it. But that's okay, because I can come up here and we're going to deal with this in a second. I can add media. But one of the things we want to know is, right, so if we have an Instagram account, we have to link our Instagram account because it already has the Facebook page connected here, right? So are we going to be creating an ad? Are we going to be taking an existing post and turning that into an ad, running traffic to an existing post? Because we can do that. And I'm not using this, so we can forget that for now. So one of the questions we're asking ourselves is, are we running a single image or a single video? Or are we running a carousel? Or are we running a collection? So what we can do here is, so you can show multiple images and videos with a carousel ad, right? We will get to carousels another day. You guys all know what a carousel is when you swipe left and right and you can see different images or different videos, right? So let's just go with a single image for now. So I'm going to add an image because the one that it pulled up is not great. I've got a bunch of them in here. And let's just go with this one and see if this one fits our I don't remember if I have that one formatted for a carousel or for a single image. And so here we go, right? I want to run my refinance ad. And the destination would be lilydemarie.com, and that would be the wrong structure for this. But let's say eventually when we do run a KV Core ad and we build our squeeze page out of KV Core, when you put your website in here, it's going to populate the picture of the house. I should have built that for that class. Anyway, I didn't, but, so, okay. So we're going to get to this in a second here. So we have text 1 here. We're going to go here, text 2 and text 3. Okay. So I'm doing this for this reason. You have all seen Facebook ads many times. You may not have even known that you were looking at them, but if it says sponsored, it means it's somebody paid to get that ad in front of you. Let me just see if I can make this a little bit bigger for you guys. Okay. So when I type in, I have a primary text, I have a headline, and I have a description. Okay. So when I type in here, this is where that text goes. This is in bold, it's on the bottom, then you have the text that's on the top. And we want to be aware of this. We want to be aware of what we're writing and where it appears on the ad. Okay. So let's say that this was an image of a house and not an image of a guy looking at a computer. And we say something like this, Winter Park. And it's 3 beds, 2 bath, or however you want this to say. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of options when it comes to this. There's a huge science behind this. So keep in mind that you're going to run out of real estate here at some point, right? And I'm pretty aware of that. I'm really into ad copy and writing ad copy. And I'm really into what things look like as far as characters. That's why I'm using an ampersand here and I'm not spelling out the word and, right? Because it's easier on the eyes. It's easier to look at. It's less work for the person to read when it's just one symbol. So look at it like this. When I'm looking at the Instagram ad, though, this doesn't even show up. But what ends up showing up is here. There's Lily's Instagram page here. And this is where that text shows up. So if I were to run, because I'm only running 2 placements here, right? If I turn on the placements and I turn on different placements, it's going to look different based on how that look, based on the type of placement it is. You see something here? See, because on the mobile feed, it looks like that. When I do the desktop feed, the text doesn't change. It used to change. It actually doesn't anymore. But on Instagram, let's see if it changes there. Instagram is going to be the same, right? Because Instagram is mostly mobile. I mean, you can go on and look on it online, but nobody does. Okay. So when I type in, remember, you want to keep in mind that if it's on top here on Facebook, it's going to be on the bottom on Instagram. And so we want to write things in here like, okay. So we use little tricks like this because if we are trying to sell a house in Winter Park, remember when we were on this last page here, we'll come back here, don't worry. And when we come back on this page, remember that, you know, it's like, there's this huge thing. How are we supposed to target Winter Park when we have this big 15-mile radius, right? So we have to do things like this and add locations in there so that when people see it, they at least know whether this is relevant to them or not, right? Because if they live in Davenport, Winter Park may not be as relevant to them. And then we're hoping that Facebook's algorithm will pick this up and show this to people that have interests in Winter Park, because that's not something that's going to be on our page 2 of our ad either. Okay. So there's more than one way to skin a cat with the fact that the fact that we can't, that we have to go with a 15-mile radius. So there's a lot of thought that goes into what to put into these fields here, right? And I'm going to give you some food for thought, and we're going to go to this page here for now. This is called Ad Library, Facebook Ad Library. You're going to want, we're almost at an hour here for the class. You're going to want to come in here, and you are going to want to come in here a lot. And we can come in here and we can look at everybody's ads that are running ads right now. Right. And we can see, even like on this one, like we can see the presidents, the presidential candidates are running, like this is how much money they've put into their Facebook ads campaign in the last week. right? We can see what their ads even look like, right? But that's not something that we're going to need for this. So I'm going to click on housing. I'm going to type in real estate. Or if you know somebody that you think you want to take a look at their ads. So we're going to see if this guy's actually running ads. He is, whoever this person is and wherever he's from, is running 19 ads right now. And we can see them. We can see what they look like. And you can tell that he took his picture, removed the background, and just added that right on top of this image here. Okay. And I want to take a look at what his ad looks like. I want to see what his ad destination is. And he's got the same picture, different backgrounds. This one doesn't even have him. He's throwing a lot of spaghetti at the wall here. Here he's got sliders, right? I don't even care where he's operating out of. It doesn't even matter which market he's operating out of to me. Because I know this much. I know that if he's running this amount of ads, he's probably paying somebody for this. He's probably not doing all of this, or he's got an ads department where they're doing all of this for him. And so here you can tell that he's using a small amount of copy. Here, he's skipping lines. He's got a little bit more ad copy up here, right? A little bit less here. Up here, he's got a paragraph, a little bit longer of sentences. This sentence is longer than 7 words, right? And then when I click on, there's a ton of stuff going on in here. Even more, it's probably, this is the same ad copy, right? It's the same ad. He's running it in different locations, most likely. And even up here, let's see what we got here. It is also, okay, so it's San Diego. And it's the same, basically the same ad, and he's doubling it because he's running this in multiple markets, and he's probably running this to different audiences. And again, we'll get to that in a more advanced class. So I want to come in here and I want to, if I really like somebody's ad copy, I will simply copy, highlight, copy, and I will just paste it into my ad. If I really like it, if I think they've done a good job, you know, because this is not copyright. This is not copywritten. It's not trademarked. This is just somebody's idea that they did. You guys like that? It's pretty good, right? It might be unoriginal stealing their stuff, but if a guy is running, if he's running 20 ads at one time, I bet you he's running at least $1,000, $2,000 a month on this. And I can guarantee you he's not going to run all that money on this if this isn't working, or if this isn't working well enough, you know? So you do not have to take somebody else's ad copy if you don't want to. But for some people that are really good at it, and remember, there's a company that this is all they do. They don't sell houses. They don't do mortgages. They write ad copy and they build Facebook ads. So I'm looking at my competition. I'm looking at the marketplace and finding out what's working well and seeing if this is something that I can repurpose in my ad. Okay. And so I'm just going to leave this here. So I have something, as you can see, it'll look like this. And naturally, this ad copy does not match my image that's here, but it's not the end of the world. Like, we're just doing this as an example. I'm doing this so you can get familiar with all of these little gadgets that are here, right? If you wanted to, you could turn your image into a video. Not as important, not as engaging to have the camera looking at one point, and then it's like a Ken Burns kind of effect, if you know who that is. Okay. So what you can also do, and we're going to get to in the future, is you can add a bunch of ad copy in here. Okay. And so you can, what Facebook will do is it will run you can add up to 5 different layers of ad copy. And it will run all of these ads all at once and tell you which one has the best results in your own little A/B test, just on this one metric right here. Okay. Something to keep track of and be aware of. We will get to this again at some point. So what we can do is there's a call to action button here, right? We can change the text in there if we want. You could do no button if you want. You can push them to Messenger if that's the type of ad that you want to run. Request, sign up now, shop now, all these types of things. We're not running shopping ads, right? So it could just be learn more. Or it could be apply now, right? If I'm running a mortgage ad, something like that. We're already past an hour on this class. We don't have time to get into Pixel. Pixel wasn't my idea to run into Pixels at this point. But also another powerful tool that's here. Okay. Just again, I want to reinforce what's happening here. We are at the end of the ad. Now, let's say we were happy, we would hit publish, And this can take up to 2 days right about now to get your ad approved. Some of them take that long. Sometimes it's 6 hours, 12 hours. Sometimes it's a day. Sometimes it's even 2 days sometimes, because there's a lot of activity on here right now, especially with the politics, and especially with the fact that it's October, past October 1st, which is the beginning of e-commerce season. So this is the third portion here, right? So this is again, who we are, what they are seeing, right? This is the type of ad. This is who is seeing the ad, and this is what they are seeing. Okay. So does ad library is, David, if you just type in Facebook ad library, I have it as a favorite. You type it into Google and you can find it there. And then you can play around in here. This is one of my favorite websites in the whole world. I hope Facebook doesn't change it, but like with everything in Facebook, they're going to, because this is the temporary as is condition of this website, and they're changing everything always. So if you want, you guys can unmute your thing, and guys can ask me some questions if you want. I know there's a lot that we just kind of went over, and even as an hour, it feels like it's not enough time, just as a beginning, very rough course here. So, okay, go ahead, guys.
I have a question. Can
Sure.
you run multiple ads at the same time within the same campaign?
100%.
Or do you have to do them separate?
No, you can. What we're going to do as time goes on, I will show you how to do that. So watch this. Let's say this is important. Thank you. Good question. Very important. Good. Okay. So look at it like this. I have a photograph here. I have a still image here. And what I'm going to recommend to you guys, I'm going to highly recommend that unless you have a listing and you're running an image of that house, that you do video, especially if you're trying to do a branding ad, or if you're trying to get listings, or if you're trying to do a lot of other things. I would be making videos, and then you upload your video into here. Before that, I'm going to do a class on Canva in a couple of weeks. Now we're going to do that class before you run your ad. So you can make a video and you can add a bunch of things on the screen. Are any of you guys watching my morning videos? You see I have all that stuff in the screen. I'm actually doing that through iMovie, but you can do this through Canva, where there's a bunch of other tools in Canva, which is a really good thing. It's free, but I use a pro version, so I'm going to have some of their other unlocked tools. You may want to consider buying Canva. It's like $100 a year. But what you will do is you will run one campaign. Eventually, we are going to duplicate the ad set, because when we come out of here, it's not going to work the same way. Well, okay. You will highlight your ad, and then you will come in here and you will duplicate that ad a couple of times. And for each one you're going to have one of these, then 3 of these, and then we're going to come in here, duplicate these 3 times each again. And in here, you will have 9 ads that you're going to run. And in these 9 ads, you're going to run on different audiences, and then you're going to run different videos at all of them. And you're going to throw as much spaghetti at the wall as possible and see what sticks, and then turn off everything that doesn't work. And then eventually you will have something that is indexing well enough, hopefully. And then you will start a new campaign. You will duplicate that campaign here, and then run more money at that. You will not change the budget on the ones the initial ones. We're getting ahead of ourselves, but if you've been running Facebook ads before, you know that probably makes a little bit more sense. Okay.
Okay,
So,
thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So what I'm going to suggest, guys, is that you start thinking about what you want to talk about in your videos, because you're going to have to make videos if you're going to hold their attention. Remember, we're at like a speed of light zipping through Instagram and Facebook these days, right? Think about your own behavior on these platforms, and then think about what's an engaging thing to look at. Now, we can argue all day or talk all day as to whether or not this is an engaging image to look at. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But the thing of it is that you want to create something that's engaging, that can hold people's attention. You want to get right to the point. You want to start fast and get right to the point. And so, because a still image is just going to be something that they just run right by, and I wish there were better still images than just a house, but That's what we sell. We sell houses, right? And if we were selling hamburgers, it'd be pictures of juicy bitten into hamburgers, and it'd be great, be easy to look at. And sometimes it's just houses, you know. But if it's a video, if you have your own listing and you have like, or if you can go into somebody else's listing and you can take really nice, good, slow footage of a kitchen, sweeping footage of a kitchen or a backyard, if there's a really nice view, you can use all of these types of videos. If you're not sure what you want to talk about, I'm happy to sit in the video with you if we can make that somehow, you know, as we're all stuck in our houses here. If you want to come to the office where I work and you want me to sit in a video with you, just so you have some content to run and you can at least sit there with another professional, I'm happy to even sit in your video and help you with your marketing, guys. All right. So I have to end the class now, guys. I'm sorry. It's 10 after the hour. And I'm just going to show you a couple of other slides here real quick. So something to take into consideration is this. You're going to run ads and people are going to comment on them. Okay. This is an ad that I ran. It's a real ad that I ran for a house that was for sale. I did not put the price because I wanted them to click on it to go find out the price. And this gal over here had a big problem with that. She tells me, you need to put this on here so when I can see what it is. I lost interest right when I had to enter my info into my little squeeze page. Boy, oh boy, it hurt her feelings, didn't it? Poor Wendy. And on top of that, 30 people liked her comment. That's not helping, right? So this guy's agreeing with her. As soon as I had to sign in, he gets upset and just damn shame. They're shaking her head or smacking her head, whatever, about the fact that we need to see it. This going actually, good old Ed here goes in here, goes online, post the price and post the Zillow link. So they don't need to go to my page. Just go to Zillow, right? This guy telling me that 700 grand in Kissimmee is crazy and all this stuff. So like, you got to get this graffiti off of your ad. There's a way to do this. And so you have to be guarding your ads. I'll show you how to get at this time, I did not know how to, I couldn't find the functionality to get all this stuff off the ad, but I know how to now. Because I turned it on, it wasn't indexing for a little while and I wasn't watching the ad. And after 2 weeks, it started to hit after a while. And next thing you know, there was all this stuff here. Something to keep in mind. But this is some results from another person that, you know, we set an ad up together one time for $3, $357. Elizabeth here ran this. She got this in front of 82,000 people. She was running an impressions ad, and it was basically impressions are how many times it was seen. It was seen 95,000 people. I'm sorry, 82,000 people saw this ad 95,000 times. So a couple of them saw it more than once ultimately, right? But for $3, $350, that's a lot of eyeballs for $350, guys. You know, and this is not, when you start running link click ads, this is not the same as an impressions ad, but it's going to be a lot. Okay. It can be a lot after a while, and the leads are going to stack up after a while. So one other thing I want to tell you guys, I run this little mortgage marketing update video. It's on your My Agent page. Feel free to look at this on a daily basis. There's one up there for today. I'll make sure there's one up there for tomorrow. I do one of these a day, basically, except for Sunday. I usually do one on Saturday too. I try to keep them between 3 and 4 minutes just because I don't want to waste too much of your time with this kind of thing. And I try to get right to the point and nothing to it. This is where you can find the backup of all of those videos on YouTube. I'm also on Instagram at mortgage_DeMarie. And, you know, I teach these classes because me and Lily want your mortgage business. Ultimately, I need to let you guys know that I teach these free Facebook ads classes because I want to be able to do mortgages for you guys. And I'll do another class tomorrow, not for Facebook ads, but for how to sell investment properties to millennials. We're going to be using FHA loans on that, and I'll show you what some of the numbers look like and why they should do it. You can call me or text me at this number right here. This is my email address. LilyDeMarie.com. It's got a bunch of resources for you. If they want to apply online, they just use Union Home Mortgage, and we run everything through Lily's name. And there's a bunch of marketing materials on list reports. If you want to download those and run ads at those also, you can definitely do that. They give you a daily social media marketing material that you can add daily, little videos and market information on there too. This is something we pay for, and that's free to you. If you want to sign up for that, just email me right here and email me your phone number, your email, your address, your office address, your KV Core page, your Instagram or LinkedIn or Facebook, and I can get you logged into that, and I can get you logged into the app as well, our mortgage app. So, one second here. I see your question there, Mark. Let me get back to that screen, and I will paste the ad library, right? So if you just go here. Oh, okay. That's the link for the ad library. Again, if you just go into Google and type it in, you'll find it. That's my number. If you want to call me or text me. This recorded class is going to be on the YouTube page. So as you can see, guys, in an hour, it took an hour to go over kind of a lot of info. It's going to take a couple of classes for you guys to get comfortable looking at this software and building something that's worthy of being put money behind ultimately. You know, there's a lot to it. I've been running these ads for about 6 years now, and the software has changed a lot, and there's quite a bit to it, honestly. But if you're able to just get a couple of things up that work well, you can see for $3 to $4, $5, $6 a day, maybe more sometimes. It can explode your business. So, you guys have any other questions before we end? One second. Typing in my email address. So what you can do is I can't get your info through this. But if you or anybody else want to email me your info, if you want to sign up for list reports and the mortgage app, you have to send me your headshot, your picture, so I can add that in there as well, because we co-brand everything for you guys. Okay. Somebody else looks like they're trying to come in the class, I think, but okay. All right, guys. So, Lily and I are here to help you qualify your borrowers and get you as many deals to the finish line as possible here, guys. And that includes me, coming in here and trying to teach you how to do Facebook ads. I don't mind sitting here and do it. This is like one of my personal passion projects. I love Facebook ads. I hate Facebook, to be honest with you, but I love running Facebook ads. But anyway, guys, okay. So thank you very much for joining me today. I appreciate you spending some time with me, and nothing to it. Again, you can always call me, text me, email if you have any questions on any of the things we went over today. All right. Okay, guys, get busy with those videos.
I appreciate it.
Very welcome, guys. Thank you.
Thanks, Brian.
Thanks, Ryan. Appreciate your help, man.
No problem. Take care.